Cheers, people. What's up? I'm Renn. This is the machine. This week we're going to take a look at the outside garden plot I've got going. But first, we'll take a quick look around in here. Thanks for showing up, people. All right, you can see things are looking good. Much better. So far, so good on that 5:1:1 ratio. I'm feeding these. The ones up front have been getting it longest, and they're the newest in here. They're looking good so far. They get older as we go towards the back, and then of course we've got the what is that? The Bruce Banner, and then the 9-pound hammer. And let me scoot these trays out and get a closer look at those. All right, you can see this Bruce Banner. She's ready to go. I should have pulled her down already, but I figured I'd just leave her, get a few more pictures for you all. And said it could have gone better, but I've got more coming, and hopefully I'll be able to get better performance out of those with this different feed ratio. But that brings us over to this 9-pound hammer, and she's looking great. And she'll be coming down as well. And again, I just I left her up, an extra day or two just so I could get these last pictures for you all. And I was in no hurry. But yeah, they are looking very, very nice. Not super stacked, but again, I could have let them veg a little bit longer and maybe got a little bit better performance out of it. But I've got more coming. So I keep all the oldest ones here on the back. She's looking good. She's got a ways to go, only 6 weeks anyway, at least. She's got that Christmas tree look about her though. And the mothers, always looking different. This tester really looks different. I'm gonna have to try these again. Because again, I can treat these better with the nutrients. She's looking good. She's looking really nice. One of the mothers. But there you go, people. All right, here in the veg room, things are looking good. Mother's in the back there. I need to give them another haircut because I'm still not ready to take any more cuttings. The next crop getting ready to go, along with some of these that I got replanted. Because at this point, I just have to wait to harvest before I have enough soil to replant. But hopefully I can get some more soil pretty soon. But yeah, they're all looking great. All the up-and-comers. Next couple of crops. It's like a little forest down there. And look at this, we got shoots. So it won't be long. I'll have to pull those off and get those into water. Got a few started here. Then this one's just started. Slow coming up. And I got plenty of eyes going on these. So I'll cut those up into chunks. Get them into dirt pretty soon. All right, so here we are on the backyard. This is some of the dirt I've been pulling out of my next door neighbor's old raised beds. This is my compost pile. Here it is with the cover removed. Now this is most of the material that was pulled out of my old raised beds. This stuff on the side was some stuff that was still composting. Hadn't really got there yet. So what I need to do is I need to mix this with this. And I have this. And I have these. But I'm going to use this. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. This is just a tool I had left over from the job when I was fixing my carport for my garage. Wheelbarrow fits perfectly underneath there. Even when it's fully tipped down. Sweet. All right, and there's what 12 shovelfuls looks like in that wheelbarrow. And I wanted to run it through that mixer for a while to break up the eggshells, because there were some fairly large eggshell pieces in there. Now this will go down on the bottom of the rows on top of a thin piece of cardboard, and then the dirt will go on top of this. So there's a lot of you see there's some coal, piece of charcoal, and eggshells. So that's all the good stuff there. And there's what that looks like. It's about 2 or 3 inches of that compost mix with about 2 or 3 inches of some, I'm going to call it sandy loam. It's got a lot of sand in it. I don't know where he got that stuff, but it should drain well. It's consistent. I mean, it's uniform. He brought it in from somewhere, but anyway, that's what that's going to look like. It's a good start. All right. So here we are. I'm over at the neighbor's backyard. If you've wondered where I've been getting the topsoil that I'm using for my gardens, what I did was I got out here last year, and there were, I think, 4 beds here that were surrounded in railroad ties. So I got my chainsaw out and I cut them all up into manageable pieces, because each one of those ties was, I couldn't even lift one of them myself. I just had to cut them into pieces and move them around. And then I've already removed one of the beds here, which involved, here's one that I just started. You can see first I have to go in with a rake, and I have to pull off all of the just the dead vegetation and the green that's just starting to come up. Pull all that off with a rake, and then once that's down to basically bare earth and whatever clods or root bundles or tops of the plants and all that, all the vegetation I couldn't just rake off, I have to go back and hit it with a hoe. And you can see this is what it looks like after I hand hoe it. And then I go back with a shovel and a milk crate and a wheelbarrow, and I will run all of this through a milk crate, probably 2 or 3 shovelfuls at a time, until all the rocks and the roots and all the crap, because there's also some bits of plastic and little things like that, and then rocks. I have a bucket I've already filled up once. Everything from bigger stuff like this, down to smaller stuff. But anyway, I'm sifting all that out, and like I said, here's what they looked like before I started, and it's a lot of work. I mean, my hands are ruined right now. That's a band-aid, just because there's a huge gaping hole underneath there, a big flap of skin I need to cut off. Blisters on this hand. I'm at a point right now where I just can't do any more work until I heal up. I had gloves on, and it just blistered me through the gloves. I mean, what can I say? I can outwork my equipment, and my equipment being me. So anyway, that's where I've been getting the dirt, and it's a hell of a lot of work. But again, it's not costing me anything, and that's why I'm doing it. Just some blood, sweat, and I haven't cried about it yet. But if it was August, I'd be crying. But anyway, there's that. All right, so once I get a wheelbarrow full, which probably takes me, I don't know, less than 10 minutes easily, I take them one wheelbarrow at a time on this little journey we're taking right here through the neighbor's backyard. This is where I cleaned up all that scrap metal. That nice little clean area right there was just full of steel and a bit of aluminum. But anyway, come right up through here. Here's where that truck was parked that Connie gave me. And there's my garden. So you can see at this point I've removed one of those beds from their garden, and it's gotten me, that's about, I don't know, 8 inches deep, and then it goes to about 6 inches, and then up to about 8 inches again, and this much I haven't even started on yet. So that pile that I'm getting ready to go through next door should easily get me through the end of this and then allow me to pile it up even higher, because I'm going to be growing some potatoes in here, so I'd like to get some parts of this at least fairly thick. And anyway, I'm doing this in some sections. You can't really see it. I know where they are, and I'm going to mark them with some stakes before I go any further. But right here, the compost I put down underneath it is about 4 inches thick, and it goes to about 2 inches for the rest of this length to where the dirt stops right now. And that's because that's where I ran out of all the compost that I'd been preparing over there. But that's fine, because for that last little section I'm just going to put down cardboard and then put the dirt on top of that and see how that goes. Like I said, so this whole side will be a test bed. Basically this to right here, which is just over 10 feet, I think, or about 10 feet, I put down cardboard, and then I put down the compost on top of that, and then the dirt on top of that. Here, the rest of the way down, there's no cardboard, just the compost with dirt on top. And then down at the end, there's just going to be cardboard with dirt on top with no compost underneath the dirt. And it's just going to give me some options, some growing options to see what works best. And that'll leave me that whole other side for once I've made the majority of my mistakes on this side, I can do the other side correctly. Besides that, I don't have the resources, the money or the energy. I've got to get this pretty much finished now, this side. Besides that, this one side right here is going to grow me more than enough food for the next year anyway. So yeah, I'm in no hurry to get that other side ready. It can just sit there and be there for when I'm ready to move on it. But anyway, this is kind of interesting down here, because right now I've only got one side of this stringed out. The whole thing was strung out, but you can see these deer tracks. I came out here the other day and all the string was gone, and that's like 65 feet down each side, and then let's call it 140 feet worth of line, or let's call it 150 because it wraps around those stakes a few times. But anyway, it was all gone. It was all gone. Evidently a buck had come out here, and he'd walked up, probably right here, he probably walked up and got his antlers hung in that, and you can see he pranced around here a few times and then bailed. And I'm sure he bailed with, like I said, probably about 160 feet worth of this red string wrapped around his antlers. But at least that's not anything that's probably going to kill him or ruin his life or anything, if it doesn't get pulled off at some point. But this string's pretty damn tough. Now, if you remember those raised beds that were over there towards where the new garden bed is, I took those out, and this is what the bottoms of those raised beds were full of. Rather than filling it with dirt, I was filling them up with trees that have fallen in my yard and stuff. And I put that next to other pieces of trees that I've recently cut down. There's some big ones right there. And what I'll do with this is burn it for ash, and it will all eventually wind up here in my compost pile. And remember all that the stuff I was telling you I was pulling off the top of those raised beds next door. I go through it and I pull out all the big sticks, and just the grass and the greens I throw underneath there. I had that off yesterday, let the rain fall on it overnight, so it got good and wet. Anyway, that'll all be processed into nutrients for the plot there. Now, what do you all think of this? This is an old pond liner my neighbors have next door, like for a fountain or something to that effect. And I'm thinking that would make a nice little rain catcher. That way I can water my garden with rainwater every chance I get. It's pretty good size, and then I might be able to put some tarps up around it to funnel even more water down into it. And then of course I can have some kind of hose running right out of that drain. Anyway, I'm gonna see if they have any use for that, and I really don't think they do, so hopefully I'll be able to use it. So if you're growing, I hope you're kicking ass. If you're not growing, I hope you start soon. Cheers, people. Later.